Well, greetings everyone and welcome to Can't Wait Wednesdays here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host Kevin Reed and we have a jam-packed week. I thought that there was just going to be one juggernaut of an event that other studios would stand clear from, but apparently not. Now, as far as theatrical releases, yeah, everybody's staying away from the big daddy of this weekend. But we do have a couple of television series that are premiering this week. And so instead of making this a Batman-centric show today, I'm going to mix in some television shows that are popping up this week. So let's start with the shows before we get to the big daddy of them all of this weekend. Premiering on March the 3rd, which is Thursday, on Peacock, we have a drama, I guess you could say. A show that is based off of a phenomenon that took place during the pandemic. And I'm pretty sure everyone who has Netflix has seen this show. And it was entitled Tiger King. And Tiger King took the world by storm during the pandemic. I watched it twice during the pandemic. It was just one of those shows. The sheer insanity of this show. And to sit here and watch it, and it was real. It was a documentary series. This wasn't a scripted show. The stuff that went on in Tiger King was complete insanity. Everybody on that show was insane. I mean, you had murders, accusation of murders. You had polygamy. You had a cult. You had makeshift zoos with actual dangerous, violent animals. Nobody who's properly trained to care for these animals. You have people getting their arms ripped off. You have a woman who is accused of murdering her husband 10, 20 years ago. All this stuff is going on, and they're all connected. Money laundering, all this stuff. I mean, it was insane. And and to think that this actually was real, it didn't take long for Hollywood to sit back and say, you know what, we're gonna make a show. And Peacock is premiering the show, as I mentioned, this week. Joe versus Carol, and it is an upcoming American drama limited series starring John Cameron Mitchell, Kate McKinnon, Dean Weathers, Brian Van Hoyt, William Fletcher, Nate Wolff, and many others. John Cameron Mitchell is playing Joe Exotic, and Kate McKinnon will be playing Carol Baskin. This is a story that it is so interesting because these are two people who hate each other guts to the point where allegedly Joe Exotic hired a hitman to murder Carol Baskin. And that is why Joe Exotic is still currently, at the time of this recording at least, sitting in jail for trying to orchestrate this murder for hire. And this is what the television show is based on. It won't go through all the stuff we already seen in the Netflix show. So this will center on, I guess, the criminal case against Joe Exotic. I'm willing to give it a chance. Me being a big fan of Tiger King, I'm going to give this a chance. I like Kate McKinnon. Don't know too much about John Cameron Mitchell. I think I've seen him in one or two things before, but nothing to say like, oh yeah, I'm looking forward to his projects. But um, let's see how he do as Joe Exotic. I remember at one point, I don't know if it was a movie they were trying to make or if it was a television series. It could have been this one, but at one point, Nicolas Cage was cast as Joe Exotic, and I thought that was the most spot on casting you can ever do, because Nicolas Cage is the most unhinged person you can ever think of, and Joe Exotic is just that. And I think it would have been perfect casting, but I don't know if it was this one or he's still attached to another project centered around Joe Exotic. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see. The jury's out, so we'll find out on March the 3rd, exclusively on Peacock, Joe versus Carol. Our second little show that is premiering this week is a show that I don't know much about, but it looks funny from the trailer. I just saw the trailer a couple of days ago, and I'm like, man, what is this? What is this? And it is called Our Flag Means Death. And this is a comedy of from the mind of Taika Waititi. And those who don't know who Taika Waititi is, you probably recently saw him in Free Guy. He is also an accomplished director. He directed Thor Ragnarok, which was top 5 Marvel films. One of the best Marvel films they have made. He directed that. He also directed Jojo Rabbit, which caught a lot of people off guard, including me. I love that movie. Real good movie. Along with his acting skills, he's a very funny actor. But he is a part of this show. Rafes Darby is a part of this show. Joel Fry, Fred Emerson. This looks like a real funny show, and it's centered around pirates. It's based on is a semi-true story. The way they market it, that's how they say it is a semi-true story about Sway Burnett, a pampered aristocrat, abandons his life of privilege to become a pirate in the early 18th century. I'm all for pirate movies and television shows, so sign me up for that. Pirates of the Caribbean, loved them. Well, not all of them. Maybe 2 out of the 50 that they made. But I like pirates. Something about pirates. I like that. So add the comedy element to it. I'm all in. It premieres on HBO Max, also on March the 3rd. So have your fun with that. Our Flag Means Death. So that leads us to our last television show that will be premiering this week. We have a returning show, season 2 premiere of a popular show on Paramount Plus, and I am so hurt by the fact that I have not watched the first season, and this is the show that a property that I love. I don't know why I haven't watched this first season, and every time I mention it, I tell my wife, and I tell her so she can remind me, and she forgets. So we all lost. Until she did ask me a couple of weeks ago, oh, you gonna watch season 1? Oh man, I forgot, but at that point I was caught up in something else I was watching and never went back to watch it. But I have to watch it because I want to see season 2 of Star Trek Picard. Yes, season 2 is premiering this week on, what is this? Paramount Plus. I was about to say Disney Plus, but it's Paramount Plus. of course, returning as the lead character, Jean-Luc Picard, is none other than Sir Patrick Stewart. And he leads an all-star cast in this show. I wish I can talk more about it, but I haven't watched the first season. But I can talk about the Next Generation. I am a fan. I wouldn't consider myself a Trekkie, but I am a fan of the franchise. My dad used to watch the Next Generation. Actually, we were watching the original, with Kurt and Spock. But, that was the reruns, of course. And then when Next Generation came along, started watching that. And he wasn't the biggest fan of Next Generation. He was a Kurt fan, understandably. So was I. I felt that Picard was kind of watered down compared to Kurt. But I did like Picard. And, I did like that crew. And the movies was better than the show. At least the Next Generation, to me. But it will never replace the original. It'll never replace William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy and all them. I can't. It's hard. But how can you not like Patrick Stewart? Patrick Stewart is the man. So here we go. We got season 2 of Star Trek Picard, also premiering on March the 3rd on Paramount Plus. All right, now we got those shows out the way. Now let's get to the reason why we're all here today. Peoples, let me just tell y'all straight off the bat. At the time y'all are listening to this, the time this show is being released, which is on Wednesday, of course, I would have already seen The Batman. I know it comes out Friday, March the 4th, but I was blessed to get an early screening of this movie. Matter of fact, I go see it in about 4 hours from now. So I need to wrap this up pretty quick. So I'm going to see this film, and I am excited beyond excitement. I cannot contain it anymore. I tried to temper my expectations. I tried to downplay it, and I can't do it. I just can't do it. There is nothing about this movie that they have either talked about or shown through trailers that I see where this is going to be bad. The only bad thing that I'm not too much looking forward to, but at the same time I'm excited about, is the fact that this movie is 3 hours long. I'm not looking forward to that because I know I have to sit there for 3 hours and not use the bathroom. Because I refuse to move. I'm gonna refuse to move because I don't want to miss anything. I'm excited because I'm getting 3 hours of Batman. I can't believe this. I just can't believe that it's here. It's finally here. People don't realize this. We was supposed to get this movie. We were supposed to get this movie October of last year. But the stupid pandemic pushed it back. So here we are. Actually, I don't think it was the pandemic. I think Matt Reeves put the brakes on that, the director. Because if it would have got released last year, it was going to have that day and day that HBO Max do. And he didn't want that. He wanted an exclusive theatrical release. So it was pushed back to this year. I get it. And then I don't because I wanted to see it. It wouldn't have stopped me from going to the theaters and seeing it. But I know a lot of people would have said, oh, I'll just stay at home and watch it. Like they did for Doom. I think that's why it suffered a little bit at the box office because you can watch it at home, which is what I did. You know, I felt, well, I don't have to go to the theater to see, but I wanted to. I actually kind of regret not going to the theater and seeing that. Because it looks beautiful. I built whatever. But I'll go see part 2 in the theater. But this movie, I'm praying is worth the wait. Some of the early reactions that I've seen, the couple that squeaked through, because I've been on a semi social media blackout because I don't want to be spoiled. I don't want to be swayed in my opinion in any way. But it's all positive. It's all positive. Everything sounds great coming out of this film. The Batman is a 2022 American superhero film based on a DC Comics character, Batman. The film is directed by Matt Reeves, who also wrote the screenplay with Peter Craig. The film stars Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, Zoe Kravitz as Selena Kyle, aka Catwoman, Paul Dano as the Riddler, Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon, John Turturro as Falcone, can't get it out, and Andy Serkis as Alfred Pennyworth, as well as Colin Farrell as Oswald Cobblepot. I cannot wait for this. Did you hear that cast? Did you hear that cast? This is a Batman movie. Did you hear that cast? This is unbelievable. I can't believe this is actually happening. Then Colin Farrell, if I didn't say his name just now, you wouldn't have known he was in that movie. If you had seen the trailers and everything, you're like, I didn't see Colin Farrell in it. Yeah, you did. You saw him and heard him too. He's the Penguin. He's in heavy makeup. You don't even know. First time I saw the image, when they released some of the stills, I was like, who is that? Who is that? I didn't know that was him. And when the first trailer came out, I still didn't know that was him. And I knew who he was playing. And it's so funny. I think at one point Jonah Hill was negotiating for the role, but he wanted too much money, and so they end up going with him. Either that role or the Riddler role, but either way, he wanted more money than Robert Pattinson, which was ridiculous. I mean, I like Jonah Hill, but come on, man, you're not that dude. But in any event, going through the whole process of this film, how it all came to be, with Ben Affleck, he had signed on to direct and produce as well as co-write and star in the Batman after Justice League and all that there, and then the fallout with that, and he didn't want to be Batman anymore. Studio didn't want him to be Batman anymore, or whatever the case may be. They hired Matt Reeves, and he wanted a younger Batman, and so on and so forth, which pretty much unceremoniously showed Ben Affleck the door. It got off to a kind of rocky start because, honest to God, I still, even with this film about to come out, I still would love to see a Ben Affleck directed Batman film because he is an awesome director, and I liked his interpretation of Batman. So I would have loved to have seen that, and I think Warner Brothers or DC Films, whoever it was, they really dropped the ball on that. But whatever, no point crying over spilled milk. Here we are. So that led to Robert Pattinson, who was the last person I would ever think would be in any type of superhero movie, let alone the Batman. And it's just once again unbelievable. And it never registered until I saw that first trailer and saw him in action, quote unquote. And I was like, wow, I think he's really committed to this because he's such a serious actor, you know. And I'm saying that knowing he was in Twilight. I know he was in all those movies, but after that, and I don't blame him for Twilight. I don't blame none of them, none of the actors involved for Twilight. Twilight was what it was, but after those films, Robert Pattinson has carved out quite a resume, man. I mean, all type of roles, every different type of role you can think of, and serious dramas, indies, just violent crime dramas and stuff like that. I saw a movie with him and Tom Holland on Netflix. Can't think of the name of it right now, but he played a preacher who was really like a pedophile, and he was the most slimy person you could ever think of, and he nailed it. He nailed it. And this was around the time when I saw that film. This was around the time when he was cast as Batman, and I was like, okay, I might can see it. And as time went on, I was like, okay, he got it. And then they announced Catwoman, the casting of Catwoman, and a whole bunch of actresses ran across my mind. And when they announced that it was Zoe Kravitz, I was like, of course. Of course it's Zoe Kravitz. It couldn't be no one else but Zoe Kravitz. Zoe Kravitz is one of the most beautiful, sexiest women on earth. And that's Selena Kyle. No brainer. You know, no brainer, of course. And then Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon. Now, they had some backlash when it was first announced because he's black. And Commissioner Gordon in the comics, of course, is white. But Jeffrey Wright is a top-notch actor. I mean, A+ quality actor. Of course he can be Commissioner Gordon. I didn't care. It didn't even bother me what race he was. I honestly gravitated straight to his acting ability. And I said, yeah, of course. And then Andy Serkis as Alfred Pennyworth, and I'm like, okay, I'm on board. Because we've had some awesome Alfreds. Think about it. You've had Michael Caine. You've had, oh my goodness, why I started naming, because I can't think of his name. But there have been some good, Jeremy Irons. I mean, some awesome Alfreds out there. I would love to see Andy Serkis in this role. Andy Serkis has a good working relationship with Matt Reeves. Of course, Andy Serkis did the motion capture for Caesar in the Planet of the Apes films, which Matt Reeves directed. So that's a good touch. Look, everything about this is awesome. I mean, you can hear the excitement in my voice. Let me give you the premise of this particular Batman movie. I know we didn't had about 50 Batman movies. So how many more premises can they do differently? They could do a lot. It's over 70 years of comics. There's a lot of stories that could be told. But the premise of this film is during his second year of crime fighting, Batman pursues the Riddler, a serial killer who targets elite Gotham City citizens. He uncovers corruption that connects to his own family during the investigation and is forced to make new alliances to catch the Riddler and bring the corrupt to justice. I love this. Immediately upon him signing to direct this film, Matt Reeves said that this was going to be more of a detective story, more of a film noir, if you will. And immediately my heart jumped out of my chest. As a fan of Batman, stemming back to the comics and the origins of this character, and if you are a diehard Batman fan like me, you know that Batman is basically Sherlock Holmes running around with a bat costume on. He is a detective. He is the world's greatest detective. Matter of fact, Ra's al Ghul calls him detective. That's what he does. This is how he solves crimes. That's what I loved about him. That's why I like Sherlock Holmes. All those murder mysteries that I love. Batman is all that, plus a comic book superhero element with it. And it's genius. And we haven't seen that in these films, at least drawn out. You see every now and then, you'll see Batman have a file that he's looking over or typing something up on the computer. Michael Keaton's interpretation did a little bit of research. Christian Bale did a little bit more, but not that much. It's just, they just stumbled on the evidence. Batman doesn't stumble on the evidence. He finds it out. He finds it out. And so this is supposed to be more of a detective story, and I am so excited for that. The film comes out exclusively in theaters on Friday, March the 4th. But like I said, I'm going to see it in a few hours, and I am so excited. I can hardly contain myself. I wanted to hurry up and get this episode out before I saw the film, so you can we can all experience this excitement together. Aside from me seeing it and then trying to do can't wait without me blurring out anything about the film. So, but I will be doing that Friday when we review The Batman on Movie Goodness. So stay tuned for that. So that's the show. That's this week. This week, if you're not planning to go out to the theater, which you must be out of your mind, but if you just cannot make it out to the theater to watch allegedly the greatest superhero movie of all time, you can stay at home and watch Joe versus Carol on Peacock, coming out this Thursday. You can also peep out Our Flag Means Death on HBO Max once again this Thursday. And you can also switch on over to Paramount Plus and catch the second season, or the first season like me, who, if you haven't watched that, of Star Trek Picard. But I implore you all to venture out to the theater to catch The Batman this Friday. Oh my God, I can't wait. Christmas has came yet again. Just 3 months later, here we are again. I'm back under the tree, getting ready to open up my present. I am so excited. This was a tough episode because I was trying to temper my excitement, because a couple of times I was about to jump off the chair thinking about this movie. Just imagine how it's going to sound this Friday when I'm reviewing it, if it's good. If it's not good, it's gonna be animated, but not the way you think. But I'm confident that this is gonna be good. I know I'm probably setting myself up for failure. I just don't see it. I don't see it. And I know I'm gonna be a little biased anyway, so it doesn't matter. But anywho, that's the show. Everybody, if you're listening on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, don't forget to leave those 5-star reviews and ratings. It helps the show out tremendously. That way we can climb up the ratings and be featured more, get more sponsorship to help out the show. If you're listening on Spotify, don't forget you can share the show. You can also rate the show on Spotify as well. If you're listening on your other platforms, whether it's iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, we also have episodes on YouTube. You can check us out. Check us out anywhere. I'm trying to get as many places as possible so you can hear my lovely voice. And you can also check us out on social media. Look us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We're everywhere. We're everywhere, people. I'm taking over the KB Radio Network. Everybody's been an honor, a privilege, and a joy. And I just want to dedicate this show to a friend of mine who lost his son last week to senseless violence. Son was on his way to school, catching a bus, and he was struck by a gunman's bullet, and he passed away tragically. I just want to dedicate this show to him. Keep your head up. We're going to get through this together. Hate to end the show on a downer, but the Batman. Just remember, the Batman. But this show is dedicated to you, Ahmaud Howard. God rest your soul. God bless you. I love you all, people. I love you all. I want you to continue to love one another. And until we speak again, which will be this Friday on Movie Goodness, when we review The Batman, I want you all to be blessed.